Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome back, or if it's your first time joining us, thanks for joining. We really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. Now, as I was finished up with this video, thought everything was done in editing it, I realized that I couldn't find our intro, and I also couldn't find a major first clip that kind of explains what's going on. So the first clip that I have just kind of drops you in the middle of the situation without really any details on what's going on in the situation. So I just figured I'd sit down, make something real quick, make it easy, and help you guys out. So in the previous video, we had the issue where, you know, we thought our master cylinder seal went out on our brakes, and at that point, we had no brakes in the dump truck. So we went ahead and we popped off the master cylinder with the booster, and from there, we were going to get a new one from some store. Now, the issue came that I talked with a couple of different stores, and nobody could ship us a combo. Actually, online, I found 2 stores that would ship us a combo, but it marked as pending shipment, and then it came back and said, hey, we don't actually have this part in stock. So I got my refund and was back to searching. Well, on the third attempt, I ended up breaking down and saying, you know, we think our master cylinder is bad, but we think our brake booster is probably okay. So let's just get the master cylinder, take the current ones that we have apart, and put the new master cylinder on our brake booster and hope that works. If that doesn't work, we're back to the drawing board, but it's really starting to look like, unless I can find a junkyard with one of these, we're not going to find what we're looking for. So we went ahead and bought that and brought it back to the house. So after I fought with the broken booster and the broken cylinder, got them apart, put the new master cylinder on the brake booster, we went down to the truck, installed that on the truck, and then we realized that we need to cut our brake line because it's kind of crunched, so we needed to cut it back before we could flare it out and reattach it. Well, we have no power down at the property where the dump truck was sitting with no brakes, mind you. So we decided that it needed to come to my other property that does have power. So that's where we're going to pick up the video. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoy. As always, if you see anything for us to improve on, let us know. We will do our best to accommodate it. Thank you. Okay.
What are we doing?
Well, we don't have tools to... We don't have tools here to crimp or flare or cut the brake line like we need to. And there's not that many hills that are going downhill to my house.
You're taking a long time.
We're gonna see if we crash with no brakes going down the mountain.
Yes, we're gonna take a dump truck with no brakes and drive it on a mountain and hope it doesn't roll down, hit anyone.
Or anything.
Or anything. Or, you know, kill the driver. That's why I'm not driving it, he is.
Okay, I'll turn my hazards on and you know where to stop.
Alrighty. Well, guys, update. Matt didn't crash the truck. Turns out crawler gear goes pretty darn slow. So, we'll have to try to think of a way to kill him some other time. We still have to do some work. Shh, he doesn't hear us. But, you know, maybe we'll do something more inventive than something revolving around brakes. Maybe it'll be like an engine fire. I don't know.
So we got Jarrett here. After getting this truck all the way home because we needed power for it, we turned around. Oh look, he's done a good job. We turned around and we realized our best bet was going to be a saw. A saw. So we got Jarrett here cutting through, just steadily making his way, because hopefully cut once, but I think we have enough twice if needed. No, we'll let you know how it goes. We were thinking we'd do some quick cuts, quick flares. You know, 20-30 minutes we'd be done. You can tell how that worked. So we ran back out and we realized that when we originally cut this, whoops, sorry, I was looking up. When we cut this and went to flare or bend it, we crunched the top part at the bend because we didn't have the right tool to do it. So then we ended up cutting further down, and what we're gonna do is run a series of couplers.
Wait. We crunched? I crunched the new one.
So he made me spend money and then crunched it just to laugh at me. But that's besides the point. So he came up with an idea for some couplers to just add like, we'll flare this out here, run, and then use a coupler and run a new brake line up to here, which should work. But we'll show you it once we have that part ready, and we'll go from there. At this point, we have our trailer brake reattached. We're just waiting to put this in. Or actually, we'll get this set up, bleed this, attach it, and go from there.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get this bent at the correct angle so that when we do attach it, it will be able to go in. So I'm gonna need to, it's gonna have to go back more than 90 degrees. I'm just gonna have to keep bending it almost partially.
Keep bending and checking, and luckily we picked up a spare line in case this one collapses also, because the more we do it, the more likely it is. But luckily after the first one, Jarrett was able to sit down and be like, oh hey, this is how we need to do it. So we're hopeful.
I actually think that might be good.
Oh, you're seeing it here, folks.
I actually think that might be pretty damn good.
We might have it. So we'll update you when we get a little more done. Okay, so we have an update. At this point, we went ahead, we got our, okay, let me try to get a better angle. Okay, so here's our the old, original, whatever you want to call it, brake line coming up. We chopped that, we flared it, and we put this little nut on the bottom here. Then we got a female to female coupler. And this is the brake line that we bought from the auto parts store that had these on the end, the twist pieces on the end.
Do they call it a female coupler because it takes nuts?
Anyways, what we ended up doing was, since this is the original, we just didn't have this one hooked in. Went ahead and put brake fluid up here, pumped the brake a couple times, had fluid coming out of the bottom of this coupler. So that's the furthest we could get. Put this on, and we know there's going to be air in this part, but that's
regardless, the brakes feel like almost 200% better.
Okay, I haven't been in there yet. He's saying they feel better. You want to go ahead and pump them up a couple times, see if this pulls down a little bit. My mistake is... Hold on. He was just brutally attacked by a cicada. But, so on this, it's got like a little rubber boot that sits on the top, and I didn't think about that when I filled it, so it's going to make a mess, which is why we have some rags around it. Ho, 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 ho. Stop. Fudge. Okay, so that didn't work, because we're leaking from the, we think that's their like trailer brake controller, but we'll see. So let us deal with this, and we'll pick up afterwards. Okay, so it was just a loose fitting underneath. We got up under there, we went ahead and tightened this up, and at this point, Jarrett is going to drive it forward, and we're going to see if we have brakes for the first time ever. All he's going to do is a little bit forward, hit the brakes, see if she stops. We got brakes. So I guess that means we're gonna go ahead and give this a test drive here in a little bit, and we'll see how she does. We'll see. Okay, so it looked good when Jarrett was doing it. I took it back and forth a couple times, same thing. We're gonna go ahead and test it out driving it around. After driving it earlier with no brakes, we're pretty confident that if the brakes go out or if they fail, we can drop it in first gear and get it to crawl itself around. Worst case, if it ends up on a bad downhill, we'll get another car to block the road, so we're not worried about running into cars on the way. But we're fairly confident we're not gonna have that problem. So let's go ahead and get out there and see what happens.
Besides, I can always jump out because there's no steering wheel in the way.
You have a seatbelt, I don't. Am I good that way?
You're good that way. Ooh, we're gonna start out with a severe downhill. How the hell? Go in reverse.
Go in reverse?
Yeah, you need to go backwards.
Woo! Woohoo! Oh, I had more road back there than I thought I had. That's what this is hanging me on.
Just go right.
Oh, I want to make it crawl. Woo! Okay. So, worst case, that speed you saw there.
Try braking. Try braking.
Try braking?
Yeah. I just wanted to see what it was like. Yeah, it brakes.
Yeah, it brakes.
Oh, car.
I hope they're gonna move over. They're not gonna move over.
Break.
I mean, we'll see. Do they have room to get around me?
No.
Maybe. There they go.
Yeah, you're stupid.
Barely. They're off the road back there. Okay. But yeah, anyways, let the brakes out. I'm gonna stomp through those brakes again. We have good brakes.
We're not dead! We're alive!
So go ahead and do that again. Good enough brakes to put Jared out of the chair. But yeah, I'm gonna have to find a seat belt. And there's a couple other minor things because this is not tagged antique. This is tagged a normal car. So it's gonna have to do the safety inspection and everything else like a normal car. Let's not end up in people's yards as they watch us.
I told you, I think you can start the second gear.
Start the second. I'll have to try that out on the next one. So we got third gear. I think this, did we get it in third gear when we were looking at it down at the junkyard?
I don't know. The first thing you said is you panicked and said, I've got no brakes! I've got no brakes!
I mean, to be fair, we had no brakes. You were on the side of the truck, we were going down a hill. So I feel like that panic was slightly justified before I did something stupid and threw you around.
Well, I could jump out. Test the brakes again. I just want to double check. I'm liking it.
I mean, it's an old truck. And I mean, they feel like old truck brakes to me.
Yeah, exactly. So,
like, they're not bad. And yeah, I hate how big this steering wheel is.
we're going. We're going.
So what are we in?
30 miles an hour.
So there's a fifth in this, right?
No, it's just fourth.
Is that all? Okay, yeah. All right, so we got the dump truck back to the original property. Big thanks to Jarrett for all his help on figuring out how to get past things that were giving us problems, that kind of stuff. But for now, we're gonna park this beast, work on some other stuff, and here in the next couple days, I'm gonna start clearing out this lovely property, all the trash, both outside of the house and inside, on the back side, all around, this whole property.
Oh, but before that, just so in case anybody's curious of the 10 people that watch our videos for right now, we are going to bleed the brakes before we start carrying a load.
Yeah, that will be done. This was just a unloaded test, so it definitely, before we start putting weight in it, we need to go through and do this before we start doing higher speeds on main roads. We were going pretty slow on back roads in my neighborhood that don't have much traffic. But yeah, I appreciate it, and I might put a little bit of a video out about cleaning this up, starting to do stuff on this property, because I bought it a couple months ago and it's just, life's busy. But thanks for tuning in and have a good day. Take it easy.